This is the godfather of cinema, and thanks for joining me for my analysis and personal interpretation of director Stanley Kubrick's 1968 science fiction film 2001, A Space Odyssey, that the director co-wrote with Arthur C. Clarke, who also wrote the novel. The film stars Keir Dullea, Gary Lockwood, William Sylvester, and Douglas Rain. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to be notified of my future videos. It all begins in Africa 3 million years ago during a 10 million year drought that will last for another million years. Primitive men are on the verge of extinction due to a shortage of water, food, and other factors that threaten their existence, such as the leopard, fear, and the elements. As of yet, the mind of the primitive man is only concerned with surviving the day. Such as Moon Watcher. He and a group of man-apes are chased away from a watering hole each day by a group of bigger and stronger man-apes, while at the same time plenty of equalizers, such as stones, large bones, and antlers, lie about in plain sight. Moon Watcher and his group could utilize these weapons to make themselves superior to their rivals and take the watering hole by force. However, Moon Watcher and his group do not yet understand that these natural objects are weapons because their minds are still asleep. And besides a handful of berries and a few leaves, there is never enough food for Moon Watcher and his family to eat, despite being surrounded by all the food they need. If they could replace their diet with meat, a herd of fat antelope are always within a heavy stone or stick's reach, grazing peaceably, and yet the primitive minds of Moon Watcher and his kind are asleep and cannot imagine seeing the antelope in any way other than they have always seen them, let alone as meat. The harsh elements are another threat to their existence that they do not oppose. No matter how cold it gets at night, to cover and protect their naked bodies with animal skin and fur is the furthest thing from their minds. They cannot see these animal skins and furs yet because they are asleep and their primitive brains have yet to be taught how to think. But all of this changes one morning when Moon Watcher and his group awaken to find something exotic outside of their cave. The tall, black, rectangular shape begins to communicate with the primitive minds of the man-apes through a sequence of abstract concepts, sounds, and shapes, sorting those with the most potential from those with the least potential. Like a farmer planting seeds into the ground, the monolith waits to see with whom its ideas will produce fruit. One night, Moon Watcher receives a vision of a strange-looking family of man-apes. All of them look well-fed and content with thick skins and furs covering their naked bodies. At first, Moon Watcher is confused by this vision as there are no examples of such families in his environment. But over time, Moon Watcher's confusion changes to envy, a new emotion. Then from envy to anger as he begins to compare his own family to the one in his vision. For the first time, Moon Watcher becomes self-aware and begins a new journey that's taken man-apes millions and millions of years to begin. To think. A word that I want you to remember as I work my way through this analysis and throughout the dawn of man, Jupiter, and beyond the infinite. Once creatures that only saw, felt, and lived in the moment, some but not all man-apes begin to think for the first time. They now see hunger, thirst, the elements, and themselves differently and analytically, and begin to take control of their lives gradually. They now begin to see animals as food, to see stones, bones, and large sticks as weapons, and to utilize animal skin and fur to cover their naked bodies. Food and water shortages become distant memories. The dawn of man in the book and film end differently. The rivalry between the man-apes over the watering hole in the dawn of man is only a precursor of a future in which Earth's diminishing resources and the proliferation of nuclear bombs will again threaten mankind's existence. Man's ability to think about the universe will inspire him to create computers and machines to abandon Earth in search of other planets to populate instead of figuring out what went wrong on Earth. Man will simply take his mistakes to another planet and start over. Back then, man-apes could never have imagined their potential, that they could escape the gravity of Earth, extinction, fly to the moon, Saturn, and beyond. The year is 2001. I'd like to thank you for watching my analysis of director Stanley Kubrick's 1968 science fiction film 2001, A Space Odyssey. If you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the Godfather of Cinema, and hit the bell to be notified of my future uploads. I will see you soon.